Howdy, everyone. The title of this presentation was actually looking like a Segmentation Studio snack, but that was scrubbed at the last minute. Thank you all again so much for joining us. It's always really inspirational for us on the Custora side to hear the insights and perspectives of industry practitioners. We spend a lot of time talking to really smart people in the industry, our customers, grilling them on what they love about Custora, where we could continue to improve and grow. And taking a page from Kelly's book, we try to really listen and incorporate that feedback into our product development. My goal here over the next 10 minutes is to give you a sneak peek into a really exciting kind of watershed moment for Custora, which is the release of Segmentation Studio, an entirely new way for marketing teams to access and take action on powerful CRM segments across their entire marketing stack. First, just a little bit of insight into Custora's product vision. I guess a more apt title for this slide would have been a cheesy infographic representing Custora schematically. Corey was talking a little bit earlier about the Game of Thrones analogy, this war of all against all. The way that we see retailers struggling with this today is the hundreds, thousands of places where their data is fragmented throughout the marketing ecosystem. Data locked away in their email service provider, their web analytics tool, online and offline transactional databases. What Custora is trying to do at a very fundamental level is to aggregate all of those disparate sources of customer data to create a complete and compelling picture of individual customers. Almost like that. We call this our customer data cloud, and this is an extremely boring, geek-tastic layer of our software that not a lot of our customers engage with directly, but this is really where the magic happens. And this refers to both the processes by which we bring in data from lots of different places, as well as the fancy math that's run on those individual customers to tease out patterns and predict who's at risk of churning, who's likely to become a VIP in the future, what is a customer's level of discount sensitivity or product preferences. In fact, we enrich those profiles with choose your marketing jargon buzzword, AI, machine learning, predictive intelligence. All of that is kind of what lives under the hood within Custora. On top of that, we have built two distinct ways for marketers to take action on those insights on individual users. The first, and the focus of this presentation, is Segmentation Studio, which is a self-serve point-and-click interface. Kelly knows that we steal a lot of good stuff from her. The tagline that she came up with, which we love for Segmentation Studio, is click, click, done. We'll see it in action in just a sec. But that's a tool for marketing teams to come right in, identify opportunities in their customer base, build and activate powerful segments across their entire marketing stack to boost the ROI of all channels. In addition, we'll be able to see that action taking place in just a little bit. In addition to Segmentation Studio, we are working on building out what we call our customer data pipeline, which is a programmatic interface for Custora to pass information and insights to other marketing tools. For example, to clone all of the dozens of interesting data points that we have on an individual customer in your database to your demand-side platforms or to your site personalization tool so that those insights are ready to access for all of your day-to-day campaigns. So, Segmentation Studio, I feel like I gave away the punchline a little bit, but it's an interface for marketers to discover, build, and activate customer segments across marketing channels. We built this technology heavily influenced by all of the feedback that we heard from marketing leaders like you. The pain point of having a brilliant idea for a targeted segmentation campaign and having to wait weeks while the BI team fills a ticket. Or having that creative impulse squashed by having to go in and write a SQL query to extract the right customer segment for a particular marketing activation. At the end of the day, what we saw was that brilliance, customer-centric brilliance, was just dying under the wheel of waiting, like weeks and weeks of time for even simple, targeted, relevant communications. That's the problem that we set out to solve. The first component of Segmentation Studio is an environment for discovering and building segments. And what you're seeing here, the ghostly demo taking place, hands-free, is an entirely new querying language that we wrote based on the way that marketers actually speak. No selects or joins. We literally laid out in a room the hundreds and even probably thousands of questions that we were getting from marketing leaders, and then designed an interface that made it as simple as point and click to build any segment. Customers who bought during a certain time frame, customers with a predicted affinity for products X, Y, and Z. It's all as simple as thinking and then being able to click your way there. The second component of Segmentation Studio is having built those powerful predictive CRM segments tailored for the perfect occasion, being able to seamlessly distribute those across marketing channels. Costora, as I think probably many of our current customers know, got our start with heavy integrations in the email service provider space. And we continue to work with many fantastic ESPs, including our partner Bronto here today. One of the things that we learned when we really got in the trenches and started talking to CRM leaders is that the world of ad technology is being transformed, and there are more ways than ever to incorporate user-level intelligence, what used to be the purview of CRM professionals, into display advertising, social, search. We'll walk through how this actually emerges from Segmentation Studio, but we really developed a passion for learning more about this and giving marketers the ability to drive better ROI across all marketing channels by being able to access and easily take action on the right segments. And so what does this actually look like in practice? Well, let's imagine that you're an organization that's running a new arrivals campaign focused on some kind of fancy schmancy, high-priced product line like cashmere socks, right? And because it's an exclusive new arrival for a niche product, we want to focus on customers with a predicted affinity to buy full price. There's no use getting those bargain basement shoppers interested in something that they're not going to ultimately go on to buy. And so we want to be able to carve out the perfect audience. Now, talking to many of the retailers that we work with, this would typically be a weeks-long process today. First, sitting around in the war room trying to identify what's the right segmentation criteria, then filing that ticket or writing that SQL query. This is how easy it is to do with Segmentation Studio. We start by drilling in on customers whose predicted price sensitivity places them in the full-price shopper bucket. So customers who in the past have historically tended to purchase around full price, or those who look like them, leveraging kind of pattern matching. Next, we drill into customers, not just who have bought cashmere socks in the past, but those who might have a predicted affinity to do so. And one of the use cases we hear all the time from retailers is, I want flexibility over how big the audience is. I want to be able to size this send perfectly, especially if it's in a channel like Facebook where we're actually paying for those impressions. In this case, we actually drilled into the 100,000 most relevant customers, the customers with the strongest predicted affinity for full price cashmere socks. And now that we are at the point of distribution, all we have to do is point and click our way to distribute that segment where we'll instantly show up across all these tools in our marketing stack. That was the vision for Segmentation Studio. Make it easy for CRM professionals to drive growth in their customer base with the right segment at the right time. The way that we think about the dozens of segmentation use cases that we hear articulated from marketing pros, it is basically falling into two camps. Not getting too fancy about the lingo here, we think of them as reactive and proactive campaigns. Now, what I just showed you, we would characterize as a reactive campaign. It was driven by a business need and not necessarily a customer-centric one at that. We heard earlier about the need to balance merch and marketing. I think I may have even sung in a music video last year to that effect, but we see opportunities like this abound in every organization, right? We need to crush our holiday goals from last year. That's not starting from a place of customer centricity necessarily, but it's a mandate that's dictated by business needs. Or, gosh, we have an excess of inventory in category X, Y, and Z. We need to make sure to match that up with customers who are most likely to be interested in that product. And that's all fine and good. A key part of Segmentation Studio is being able to react to those situations on the fly in a more nimble and agile way, turn a 5-week project into a 5-minute project. But where we really see the magic happening is in the realm of what we would call proactive campaigns, where we can move past the day-to-day fire drills and actually take control of our customer data by proactively identifying opportunities to grow LTV in our customer base. I think everybody should have a book about churn prevention, solving your one-time buyer problem. These are the kinds of like White Walker defense strategies, the tough work of marketing that most marketing pros we talk to would like to spend more time on, but haven't yet had a sophisticated toolkit to help them. I'd actually like to walk you through one proactive use case on the Segmentation Studio side as well. We saw how we can kind of nimbly react to emerging needs in the business around merchant marketing. I'm sure that a challenge that many folks who are responsible for driving growth in their businesses would consider top of mind is how do we grow our customer base while maintaining the same level of customer loyalty, like finding customers who are likely to stick around with the brand for the long run and drive significant lifetime value, not just become one and done shoppers. We've learned from the best marketers on the planet how to do it, and we've tried to bottle it up into a nice, easy software workflow here. Let's say that we're a software company called Foodorama. This is a company I would found in another life. But we're responsible for delivering fresh groceries to customers throughout the country. Well, with just a few clicks of the button, we can drill into a segment of customers in Kastora who have a specific predicted lifetime value. Now, let's say that we know that our cost of acquisition for a new customer is $20, right? And our return on ad spend goal is 5-to-1. So for every $1 that we spend on new customer acquisition, we want to be able to drive $5 in gross margin over the course of that customer's life. Let's say over their first year or 2 years as a customer. Well, using Segmentation Studio, a marketer can instantly define what that threshold is and zoom in on that exact segment of high-value customers. Now, not only that, the most creative marketing strategies that we see are seeded by genuine unlocks, like insights about customer behavior and identity that really get the creative juices flowing. So in addition to instantly drilling into like who are these customers, we can run some fancy machine learning to separate what are the attributes and behaviors that make this segment statistically significantly unique and different from the rest of the customer base. We call this enrichment profiling. Users of Kastora might know this as the who are they screen. We basically look at dozens or hundreds of segmentation attributes and tease out who these customers are. Do they tend to cluster geographically in coastal regions? What are their demographics, their socioeconomics, their age bands? And perhaps most actionably, to coin an abhorrent new catchphrase here, what are the types of products that they're most likely to respond to or be interested in? This is particularly interesting for a marketing team that's doing high-value lookalike prospecting, right? Because in addition to getting in front of customers who look like our current or future best customers, we want to be able to capture their attention and intent in that split-second moment of making a decision. Like talk to them about things that are relevant and actually resonate with them. This will come in handy when we show you the final ad design. Once we've identified who these customers are, what makes them tick, it's as easy as click, done to push and automate the distribution of this segment directly into tools that support lookalike prospecting, like Facebook custom audiences and Google Customer Match. Now, what does this look like from the marketer's perspective behind the scenes? Well, as soon as you've launched this campaign, boop, within Facebook, you've got a seed audience of predicted high-value customers, which you can then use as the basis for launching a lookalike campaign. Having Facebook mine its massive treasure trove of data to identify other potential prospects who look similar to your current best customers. Best of all, you can set it and forget it. Like set a daily budget and have this become an always-on machine that's pulling in high-value folks who might be interested in your brand. Best of all, you know exactly what to talk to them about. Because we've drilled into what makes our high-value customers unique and different, we know exactly what types of food they tend to purchase when they come in making their first purchase, what's likely to resonate with them over the long term. So we're positioned to maximize conversion, get those folks into the brand. Within Google, something similar. Has anybody used Google Customer Match or Google Customer Match lookalike audiences here to amplify the impact of paid search, inbox, YouTube ads? Yeah. It's a really powerful tool in the arsenal. And part of the reason that it's so powerful is that Google can essentially modify bids when your high-value customers or customers who look like them happen to be in market. Beyond that, it can serve targeted advertisements to your high-value lookalike prospects right within the comfort of their own inbox. The net of all of this, having an always-on machine that's identifying high-value customers, teasing out insights that are unique and make them tick, and then automating a system to bring more of them in the door is hopefully this, that we see customer lifetime value rising over the long term. These are the types of results that we've seen working with some of the brilliant retailers in the room, some of whom we'll hear from in just a short bit, about how they're implementing breakthrough strategies in channels like direct mail, Facebook, Google, and more, taking smart segmentation insights and activating them at scale. Now, we've gotten a lot of responses, good responses, from customers and prospects about the impact of Segmentation Studio. It's really led to an outpouring of enthusiasm, creativity, and, dare I say, love. Yes, is it possible to love software even if it can't love you back? This is a question that we've been tormenting ourselves trying to answer over the past couple of weeks. In fact, it kept us up one night and we decided to create a loving ode to software to try and answer some of these difficult questions. With that, I'd like to wrap up my pitch and introduce you to this year's music video.